Hi besties, I am sure a number of you have always wondered what is the difference between yeast, baking powder and baking soda. Just like you, I once wondered, and it took a couple of research for me to find the differences, so I'm here to share them with you today. The similarities between the three of them are that yeast, baking soda and baking powder are all rising agents. You need them to make your dough rise, make your batter rise and all of that. But the difference, I'll start with a baking soda. For baking soda, it looks exactly like a coarse salt. So baking soda is harsh even in sight and in texture. Baking soda is made with bicarbonate already and requires you to use less of it whenever you are baking, whenever you need it to, as a rising agent and all of that. While baking powder is made from baking soda. So baking powder is like a mixture of baking soda and cornstarch. So it's like a reduced baking soda that you use to also bake and all of that. So the difference between baking powder and baking soda is that baking powder is less harsh while baking soda is extremely harsh. That's why you use your baking soda to clean surfaces, to clean your cookwares and all of that. It removes stains, and if you use too much of a baking soda to bake, it makes your whatever you're baking, it makes it bitter. Whenever you want to use your baking soda, you're expected to use acidic ingredients to activate your baking soda. Acidic ingredients like lemon juice, like your yogurts and all of that. But your baking powder doesn't need that at all. All you just need to do is add your baking powder into your ingredients and it works just fine. So whenever you need baking soda and you have run out of it but you have baking powder, what you need to do is to use ×3 of your baking powder to get the level of baking soda that you want. Do you understand? So in a nutshell, baking soda is more powerful than baking powder. Baking soda is harsher than baking powder. Baking powder is made from baking soda. Now for yeast, it looks like very tiny balls. Looks like mustard seed. Like they are balls, but they are very tiny, and you know that they're actually balls. And yeast requires sugar for it to work properly. Yeast is mostly used when you are making a dough, and yeast requires time for it to work. So for example, now you can't use yeast for your pancakes, you can't use yeast for crepes. You have to use yeast when making bread, when making donuts and all of that. So there's a difference between your yeast, your baking soda and your baking powder, and you need to know when exactly to use it. For baking soda, it requires an acidic ingredient for it to work, while baking powder works fine just on its own, but yeast requires enough time and of course sugar for it to work properly. So now, have you learned something from this video? Please let me know in the comment section. Please, when next you are making your pancake, yeast has no business in pancakes. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.